Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the mostly off topic Laughter of Dragons actual play. This has got spoilers for Laughter of Dragons, so if you are playing or thinking about playing, then we will be revealing plot content. There's no two ways about that. So please be aware of that fact. This was actually took place in the second part of our first session after we've taken a break. So that's why it might not have a massive intro with the rest of the guys and so on and so forth. And just a very quick recap. Torg, Loftar and Cirque had three dwarves, starting characters, just met up outside of Dale and had just stopped three ruffians from handbagging the old craftswoman Kelda, and they're now about to find out what happens in Dale further on as the adventure unfolds. Hope you enjoyed episode 1. Hope you're looking forward to episode 2. And then, as we say at the end of this, we will be live streaming the second session, which will probably break out into a couple of episodes for YouTube on the 29th of August 2020, depending on when you stumble across this video. So if you want to watch that, you can go to twitch.tv/mostly-off-topic and catch us live. Really be good to see you there. Thank you.
So the commotion having passed both of the cart and the altercation, as you're kind of like wandering into the city of Dale, you pass the clutch of dwarves, pleased that their cart can move again, less pleased that only they are the ones who are going to have to go and get all that stone and load it up again. Clearly they hadn't quite done the maths in the moment of inspiration that Torg provided to them, that if you're going to take it all out, you're going to be putting it all back in again, guys. So there's a bit more work with the less hands than they previously had. There's also a little bit of let's just call it banter between the dwarves and the uncle about how injured he portrayed himself to be and how injured he appears to have been. There's lots of discussions about, you can't tell me whether I felt pain or not. I have every right to say those things. I was the one experiencing it. You don't have the right to tell me how much that hurt. And you can see that it's possibly best just to move on, to leave all of that behind you. And you go through the Trader's Gate, one of two of the gates into the city of Dale. Dale is an old city, and it's a newly rediscovering its power. The walls that surround it, a huge curtain wall. Easily you could have two carts abreast in the depth of the wall. There's a portcullis, there's murder halls. Rather than it being a straight entryway into the city, it kind of moves around, so any invading army wouldn't have a straight way through to break the wall, break the gate, and it would create a natural bottleneck that would aid the defence. And it spills out into basically a bit of a meadow, the other side of the wall. You can see some of the ruins, and there's some tents off to kind of one side. Torg and Loftar, who have spent time in Dale, know this is the Commons. And essentially the wall is built on the old plan of the city. But not all of the new city has expanded out as far as that yet. But that which you can see is kind of breathtaking, really, Cirque, to you. You've not seen a city or a town or anything like this. That combination of that fusion of predominantly, you suspect, dwarven artisanship. It's well constructed. There's a solidity to it that strikes of Durin's folk. But there's also a aesthetic about leading lines that attract the eye into space, or a shape of a form that has aesthetic beauty as well as function performed well. That maybe comes a little from Thranduil and the Elven King's woodland realm. And then there's the bustle of a human, a town of men. The activity, the energy that you get from a place populated by those short lives. One of the striking features that you all see is the towers. And as you're kind of moving along, you can hear bells being ringed, some of them quite dissonant, really, but it adds a flavour of its own. There's some solitary chimes, but the number of bell towers is a little strange. Torg and Loftar, you know that when King Bard settled Dale and brought a number of the powerful figures of Esgaroth, they said that they were going to raise Dale to the heavens, and the bell towers are a really good expression of that. The tiles and most of the roofing is that terracotta colour, taken from the clay of the Long Lake. And if you were to look for a kind of modern day analogue, I think for Dale, you would look to Florence at its Renaissance height, a rich, expanding, mercantile, bustling city. Engineering feats such as the Duomo, Brunelleschi's dome there, the largest dome of its kind, the first dome of its kind. An appreciation for new learning in the Medici is kind of similar to how King Bard's court is looking to do, and then just this collection of powerful and becoming rich figures. Torg and Loftar, you know, quite a number of the powerful merchants, rich merchants from Esgaroth came to Dale, and all of you know that Dale itself was rebuilt from King Bard's 1/14th of the treasure that was recovered by Thorin when the defeat of Smaug. Essentially the story, some of you were there even, when King Bard traded the Arkenstone for that treasure, by and large, just before the Battle of Five Armies, when Gandalf pointed out the common enemy that was advancing to bring together the peoples of that time. And you move your way through, and you kind of sit in the market square. The market square is kind of a mosaic almost of stone with different colours, allowing the different merchants and annotating where they can pitch their wares. The market is alive. You can see children moving around, chickens scratching, cats chasing the chickens, dogs chasing the cats, lions chasing the dogs, dragons chasing the lions, you know, the usual. Maybe not the latter two.
Not with a fly.
Yeah, and the energy of the town. And as you kind of move a little bit closer towards the quay on the river running, there's a number of warehouses. There's the two large granaries that are the city granaries that store the grain to be able to feed the town over the winter. Guarded as they are at the moment, and there's a steady stream of kind of like wagons coming to kind of like fill that up, which will lead to the bakers, and there's a baker on every street that provides the food through to their townspeople and townsfolk. And then there are the two quays. There's a cheap quay where a lot of the longer staying moorings happen, and then there's a more expensive but closer to the trade quay. Depending upon the nature of the goods that kind of get moved and the rapidity with which they're sold, some of the merchants don't actually bother unloading the wares. They'll just leave them on the ship and transfer them straight to destination rather than putting them into the warehouse. And the concept of a Rialto or a trading house, an exchange house, hasn't quite arrived yet. So whilst merchants will gather in certain areas to kind of conduct kind of like almost paper transactions, I'll sell you 1,000 of this if you give me 500 of that. By and large, trade happens by seeing the goods to be traded. Off towards the dark stoned palace, a great mark of dwarven kind of artisanship, there is Anvil Way, where a number of the dwarves have their shop fronts or workshops. Typically, if you're going to get the best dwarven artisanship, maybe some of the dwarves that came from Erebor, you would meet an agent rather than go into a shop, and you would commission your work, and you would kind of then it would be delivered through to you. Gimmia's shop is on the corner by Anvil Way, tucked off on a little side alley, not on the main thoroughfare, but it does well through that. And then, kind of closer down by the river, there's the Old Quarter, which is the heart of Old Dale, narrower streets, kind of more confined spaces, not as open as a number of the plazas and thoroughfares are in the newly rebuilt city. Maybe a poorer area, maybe where the common man would kind of like live. Depending upon who tells the tale, it's either the salt of the earth or it's the scoundrels and the thieves. Probably a mix of both. But on this bright, lovely summer's day, notwithstanding the activities that you have just left, you can feel the energy of a vibrant, a progressive, a popular town that is front foot forwards from its recent hard past to an embracing future. So, what do you want to do? What do you want to get up to? And we'll probably move out of kind of like narrative time into a more general kind of like time frame, rather than having to narrate moment by moment activities. Let's get a feel for what maybe a typical day would be like for each of you in this town. So maybe, Cirque, if we start with yourself, you probably find some lodgings. You're muted, or I can't hear you.
You're on mute. That's the most famous sentence, I think.
Yeah. Looking at Ben's face, he doesn't think he's on mute.
No.
Oh yeah, you're back. So
like,
Cirque,
it flashes when I'm on mute.
yeah. Tell us of a typical day for Cirque. Give us a flavour.
So obviously once I'd found some appropriate level of lodgings based on my prosperous standard of living. It's amazing to not just be dirt poor. And then, yes, these days would be filled with seeking out any centres of learning, anywhere you could find any information and lore. From the sounds of it, he'd quite often find his way back to the Commons, and just actually sketch the city in front of him, and kind of like get an idea of the layout from. Right, he's the sort of person who would approach it from that angle to find the information of how the city looked laid out in front of him, rather than actually just explore around the city itself. It's more from looking at something from afar rather than diving into it. The only thing he likes to dive into is texts and scrolls and knowledge. So if there was any kind of lore master, that type of thing, he'd be seeking them out. Specifically Dwarven. He's not a racist like the other two. Yeah, he will acknowledge the knowledge of other species and beings. But he is
Loftar in with this. It's
Loftar's been your cheerleader through every single thing that's been against humans and non-dwarven. So he'll predominantly he's looking for old lore of the dwarves, stuff that we've forgotten, stuff that kind of like he feels that too much of our concentration is on our martial prowess and our kind of like crafting, and actually there was a huge sort of third part of our kind of background that we've lost, and it should be reacquired and preserved and used when necessary.
Okay, so as you're kind of like you start off at the Commons, kind of, and you get a view of the city, and you kind of feel a sense of pride, actually. I think in the way in which it's been rebuilt. It's almost kind of like a renaissance of some of the crafts that you did feel were lost, perhaps. Either the dwarves from Erebor have rediscovered some of those techniques, or have been inspired by the rediscovery of the kingdom under the mountain, and are bringing them down. And whilst close observation will show that it's not quite as well executed. That seems to be that the execution is done by man, but directed by dwarf. So the attention to detail and the willingness to abandon to start again if it's just not quite right that a dwarf would bring to it perhaps is missing a little. And then as kind of like the days move on a little bit, you start to discover the waterways through Dale. There's a lot of water mixing with the stone, and that juxtaposition of those primordial elements is always quite pleasing to you. And again, perhaps something that maybe has been lost a little bit. The studies that you've made of Khazad-dûm remind you of the presence of the important use of water in that kingdom, and the kind of presence of the river and the lake around that area. And then you spend a lot of your time, I think, in Brokenstone, which is the old quarter, kind of understanding about that, before you do naturally gravitate to Anvil Way, and you pass your time talking to some of the older agents of the dwarves. Mostly, you feel a hankering, actually, maybe to get to Erebor, where it feels like the main activity is, in truth. But you pass your time, you're kind of involved in conversations. There's a lot of stories, a lot of activities. You find that there are others who are trying to rebuild the folklore stories and the tales, the old tales of dwarves from what has been ignited in Erebor. And perhaps we'll kind of follow that trend a little bit in some future sessions. Now that I know that's the kind of stuff that you're interested in.
Cool.
So let's hear about Loftar. So I know Loftar back into Dale. It's been his base for a little while. What does a week of or so of Loftar's activity look like?
A way back, it would be business orientated. So, family has been in the crafting business for a long time. Been trading with other strongholds and other places where dwarves are living, but especially after the Battle of the Five Armies, I feel this is more of a chore than something that I really want to do. I still do it. So, for example, today I'm going to speak to the usual traders and find out about the things I need to find out, because it's important. So my family, because of our standing in Iron Hills, we would like to know what's happening. We can't quite get on the internet and find out what's happening in the latest news. So
yeah, it's still dial-up in the Iron Hills, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, that's right. So that's basically what I'm doing, just having these conversations. More importantly now, that's what I focused on a little bit more, is trying to look for like-minded dwarves. Very recently, I've been involved more in just helping caravans out. I wouldn't go as far as a mattock for hire, but if there are sort of people that need protection and assistance, obviously we will help them. But that's keep me sort of occupied in terms of the training and any sort of fighting capabilities, just to keep them going. So yes, I'm in town now. I'll do the business bit, get it out of the way, talk to the right people or dwarves, and then see if we can meet some interesting dwarves who are up for killing orc or other shadowy things.
Yeah, okay. So business moves fast in Dale. It's one of the qualities of it. And you know that there's a little bit of tension actually between some of the dwarves, between some of the Guild of Merchants from Esgaroth, and also some of the not native Dale folk, but those who have become more identify more with being from Dale than I used to be in Esgaroth. And whilst that tension is the normal cut and thrust of business in some ways, there's a political angle to it as well in terms of how close close can you get to the king? How close can you get to his court? Can you be in his privy council? Can you kind of get into his inner council and so on and so forth? But you kind of take note of this family has actually kind of taken a little bit of a hit, and that family over there, the quality of their goods wasn't what it used to be, and so on and so forth. But predominantly, the topic that drags your interest back, the conversation that you pay attention to in the tavern, or the discussion that you're interested in the market square is about Longo, the bandits, the threats to that area of Bard's kingdom. Why hasn't King Bard dispatched people out? They were at the gate. There are some rumours of orc links, but as far as you can tell, there's not masses of substance to that. Really, it's almost kind of like orcs as the bogeyman, so we'll attach it to this story. But even so, maybe where there's smoke, there's fire, and all that kind of stuff. Nobody really wants to join your band so much at the moment. It would be fair to say, kind of life is pretty good where they are. They don't feel the drive, the kind of like motivation that you have to sick orc head on spike. Maybe if you headed down the the Anduin Valley, you'd find a kindred spirit, but not quite here at the moment. So that's a bit of an in-joke for the group, because Ben's Hobbit character in our other campaign is a orc-hating murderer.
No, your character's the murderer.
The guy was clearly poisoning us. It was clearly poisoning us. Anyway, right, okay, back to this game. Okay, thank you, Lester. And let's hear about Torg. Let's hear about what Torg's a week in Dale is like for Torg.
On return to Dale, Torg has 3 things he wants to achieve. The first, the most important to him, is he will sit on the quay, the poor side of the quay, and there he sits on a stump where boats are tethered, and he lights his pipe, and he sits and he watches the folk go by, men going about their business, elves, even dwarves. And he watches the sun go down, and he reflects on his father's funeral here on this very quay where the pyre was lit and his body was burned. And he thinks of how his life in the last 2 years have changed since he left the workshop. The second thing that Torg wants to do is he wants to go to Anvil Way and visit the workshop of his good friend Gimir. And there will be feasting and drinking and talk of adventures and adventures to come. And there will be a chance for him to recenter himself and to get his inner energy back and to refocus on where he is now in his life. And Torg feels still too young, and that he has a long road ahead of him, and that this visit to Dale signifies something much greater. The third thing that Torg wants to do is he hopes, although it's not something he's consciously thinking about, he finds himself thinking as he reflects on the keys, and during quiet moments at feast with his friend Gimir, he thinks of the hobbit Clovis and the stories that Clovis has to tell, and this strange halfling, the first time he's laid eyes on a halfling. And he hopes that he will bump into Clovis and speak more with him.
Excellent, thank you, Torg. So as you're sitting on the dock of a bay, watching the ships. Anyway, right, okay,
rolling out.
It's in the morning sun.
The Iron Hills.
Yeah, you watch them come back in again, and then you head up to that mixture of Gimir and the kind of respect and affection and respect primarily that Gimir shows, and the people around him. And as you're trudging from the quay through the coloured streets of Dale into the granite slabs of Amber Way, reflecting on the conversations that you were having with Clovis and so on, it does strike you that you kind of feel like you need to make your own mark, perhaps, be known for something that you've achieved, something that your father would be proud of. And perhaps this bandit problem that King Bard seems not to want to deal with, perhaps you would be able to show what real leadership could be like. And if you were to resolve that particular issue, then you would be able to show what an active, caring ruler can achieve.
Chance for Torg to show his quality.
That kind of thing, yeah. So towards the end of the week, you kind of all happen. Perhaps the fates gather to bring you into the same bar, or alternatively, the narrative requires it, so you're all there. And in fact, Clovis is also there drinking alone as you Torg arrive and loafed up quickly after, and you call your friend Cirque over. And talk perhaps a little of what could be.
So how has this past week been for you, sir? Did you find the Library of Dale? Is there dwarven literature here for you? It's not something I've ever taken an interest in myself, but I see the value of it.
But I'm starting to feel somewhat cooped up. I've been on the road so long that the city actually feels quite claustrophobic now, as does the kind of and don't get me wrong, I'm used to climbing dark holes and down pits to try and find information of our lost forefathers. But there's something, and I love books. I would never say anything against books and tomes, but I feel a bit the need to kind of get out of the town, to kind of find something, kind of stretch my legs a bit, get on the road slightly.
With
Maybe
so
kind
many,
of see some of the ruins around the place. See if there's any kind of interesting kind of things to be found.
the urge to travel and seek adventure is an urge that lies within me as well. And there are so many, with so many Longshanks around, it's hard not to feel penned in.
See, I hadn't thought of it in those terms. Yes, I am sick of looking at men's crotches as I wander. Maybe some time walking with my own folk would do me good. Face to face rather than face to balls.
Okay then. And Loftar, I see you. Your hand reaches for the hilt of your mattock frequently. Do you lust for the thrill of the fight and the blood rage of the battlefield?
More often the better. I don't need much excuses to sort of go and leave. I hardly spend any time at home, and I find myself traveling mostly to the west because there's not much to do east of Iron Hills. But yeah.
Here comes my good friend Gimir. You must meet my friend Gimir. Gimir here helped me set up my first workshop. Workshop, you say? Yes, I set up it was intended to be a small smithy for dwarven travelers to repair their armor and whatnot. When we first moved to Dale, it was one of the ways that I felt I might break out on my own, having lived such a sheltered life. But here he is, Gimir.
Aye, lads, aye. Top ups?
Oh, no, not for me, thank you.
Are you sure? The night's young.
Yes, So am I. And I cannot take as much as you more seasoned drinkers.
Fair enough. What about yourself, Torg? Oh,
I bring you more
I
ale.
can see. We'll get them queued up for you.
It's only Dalish ale, but it's half drinkable.
Have I got a treat for you boys? Okay, you just hold on to your horses. He's kind of got your classic dwarven beard. It's a little bit braided. He's got actually tattoos along his arms, which is a little bit kind of unusual. Really kind of squat guy, blonding hair. Though Torg, it does get darker through the winter months. Loftar, isn't it? Yeah, I know about you. I'll bring you some orc blood as well as the ale. I hear that's kind of comes back with some tankers.
He's joking with you, Loftar.
A shot of orc blood will keep me straight.
And Clovis, I knew you're Smolin. So Clovis says, so have you thought about Lonco? I've tried my hardest to get some attention, but it's just not happening. I think that you'll need to take matters into your own hands.
Who've you spoken with, Longo? Clovis, about Longo.
I've spoken with my contacts, whose names I'll just pull up right now.
It's not essential information, Clovis. I'm just just a general idea of what sort of standing they've got.
Well, I happen to know one of the councillors.
Politician.
Well, it's the best way. It's the best way to do it. I've spoken to Lord Hakon.
A mannish politician.
Well, a rich and influential merchant from Lake Town.
A wealthy
supporter of King Bard.
A wealthy man who lives in an ivory tower who talks for a living.
Well, that might be, but sounds like you're willing to take the challenge on yourself there, I have to say, Torg.
I am willful. If we can find our way to this bandit.
Well,
you saw what short work we made of his men.
Aye. Well, I've got some more definite information. Off in the upper marches to the east of the River Running. I don't know exactly where, but I think near the near Torg Crag. There's a heath, and it's got these crags on the eastern side. I mean, I don't know if you know the area at all, but look, it's out there. I'm sure that as you get out there, you'll be able to kind of find that. Yeah,
it's not a withered heath, is it?
Well, it might be at times. I don't think there are any drakes there. I can't even remember the core mechanic of that adventure, but there we have it. It's along the western edges of the upper marches. Now, the way that I understand it, the base, the main area's got to be there, even if they do dispatch, people off that way. Like small bands out from there. And I've had it on authority, so that there's definitely orcish weapons being found on some of the bandits.
And bandits together.
Yes.
Well, that is a much darker spell than the simple problem of bandits at the gates.
Indeed, and whomever sorts this problem out for King Bard, since he's not going to sort it himself, will gain a great degree of popular favour, I've no doubt.
That may help us in our ultimate cause.
Yes.
So this Lord Hakon.
Yes.
What did you speak to him of? What's his interest in the matter?
Well, I rent a small place from him. Well, that's about the only contact I had, and I asked him to impress upon the king the urgency of the matter and the danger to the bandits, and I gave him a small consideration for his time and effort, but nothing seems to have
Paid
come
him.
from it.
Who's
Yeah,
your man?
well, you know, he's got, you know, I need. Well, look, I was trying hard, wasn't I? I was trying hard, but if you find dwarven folk can do what you did in the front of the gates to those bandits, then I'm absolutely certain that that'll cause them to listen to it, won't it? And I could see your eyes light up, Luftar, when I mentioned those orcish blades. I mean, you're practically at the door. In fact, hold on a minute. Here's your jacket, Luftar, your jacket.
I need my shot of orc blood and I'm off.
Well, maybe we would need help in this matter.
Give me a kind of comes. Here you go, lads. Here you go. Here you go. What matters that, Torg?
How many winters have you seen now?
Me, Winters. Oh,
I living here in Dale.
oh, Dale.
in the-
Oh well.
in the workshop since we journeyed from the Grey Mountains.
Well, let's think now. It's 16 years since the Battle of Five Armors, which means it's 12 years since King Bard refounded Dale, which would make it 10 years that I've been here. He says, having to do quick maths.
I'm getting at here, Gimme, is you've spent the last few years living a comfortable life.
Well, you know, a proud, straight dwarven life, really. You know, comfortable, but sufficiently challenging to be able to take, you know, pride in my work.
Challenging your craft ability and your,
Oh, of course, I've been
You're-
progressing the envelope of my skills, so to speak.
No points.
and
on that.
occasionally riddling the price down from or up, as it may be,
One
depending on the situation.
rides the waves. A craftsman and a merchant has to ride the waves of the price in the same way that a boat has to ride the waves of the river. The currents pull and the eddies twist.
But I saw your well-blooded mattock still hangs above the doors of the workshop. Gimme.
It does indeed. It reminds me of my place in the world and how easily it could be taken from me. It was with that
Do you not
magic that we. So what are you driving at here, Torg?
Gimme, do you never yearn for adventure and the road and?
Well, I've got a lot on. I mean, we've got the toy market coming up soon, and frankly, I'm unstatted. So there's only so much I can do at the moment.
Well, that is a problem. Yeah, that's definitely. I can see that how that might tie you to your homestead. Well,
but I'm sure that we could spin something up quickly enough. So why? What are you thinking? What you thinking, lad?
Well, my feeling is that the if there are orcs involved in this and the bandits are not just ruffians, that there may be a deeper.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I think we might need to posse up a little bit here. Gimme.
I hear you talk, but I think the talk of bandits. No disrespect to Clovis, I heard chatting earlier. The talk of orcs is a little premature. I mean, like honestly, orcs banditry. I kind of just don't see it. If I'm honest, talk this close to Erebor, this close to Dale. The king would know, wouldn't he? And he'd be dispatching his troops straight out of there. Bandits, human bandits, is a small group of human bandits not even attacking the merchant's way. That's one thing, but there's no way the king would let a tribe of orcs kind of like go. I think somebody's been smoking something other than pipe weed, if I'm honest.
Maybe you're right, Kimmy. It could be you're right. But most of them were seen off or butchered at the Battle of the Five Armies. But
Aye.
it's
And
just my hatred of the greenskins runs so deep.
You get like this, Torg, every so often, mate.
It's after a few,
When you're in
ales.
your
When I'm in
cups.
fine dwarvish company.
When you're in your cups, when you've been sat on the key, you've been thinking things through again, haven't you? You've been going down.
You're
there.
right, Jimmy.
So my recommendation, Torg, is look. How about the three of you? I'll get you some provisions. The weather's going to turn to shit soon, isn't it? So how about the three of you get yourselves out before autumn really gets its grasp? Go and have a look at these rumours. Maybe kill some orcs. Maybe catch some fish. Either way, you get this massive, lovely horizon out there, don't you? And then you can come back. I'll have sorted out the work for the toy market. And then maybe you and we kind of take a little bit of a trip into the kingdom under the mountain. I've got to get back in there. Maybe that'll help you as well. The rest of you guys, you can come along too. But you kind of need to work this out a little bit. I think, to be honest, Torg, you got a bit agitated, didn't you, when you did that thing? You felt a little bit like chieftain like when you were doing that, and you just got to work it through your system. Look, if I can't make this intervention, then I don't know who can.
Torg kind of
saying.
Torg kind of wipes some tears from his eyes, and then you're right, Kimmy. It's always good to talk with you. You're like my inner voice of reason, and I've missed you these past 2 years.
I've missed you too, Torg.
I feel I must away to bed. I think this Dalish ale is stronger than I remember it. I'm just going to smoke for a moment.
Well, I have to say, I've been wondering when you were going to get that out, because it's been a while since you got your smoking tray used. Anything else from anybody?
Ruins around this tall
I like what he's saying, basically.
Oh, there might be, sir.
Sorry,
I don't rightly know. Clovis doesn't know either.
It's well worth have a look.
Cool. And Lothar, sorry.
No, I was just saying that I like what he's saying, and I wouldn't mind. I would definitely wouldn't mind having a look.
Well, I tell you what, Lothar, there's more ale here. Doesn't look like Tor's going to finish his. How about you and I have a few more drinks? Chat about a few more things? Tell me about the Iron Hills. I've seen that coat of mail that you wear. That is something to behold. Where'd you get that from?
Yep. Well, there's a long story. If you got more ale, I'm happy to tell you the story.
More ale, Dwarven story incoming.
Yep. And I also wanted to have a look at your workshop. I've not be around it, obvious reasons. I don't really purchase toys, but as a craftsman, crafts dwarf. Sorry, it would be lovely to have a look one day.
It's not a problem at all. I mean, I wouldn't mind learning a few skills from yourself. I hear that you got a dab hand with a hammer.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I've created a weapon or two, so I'll be happy to. We can talk shop, absolutely.
So the story of this armor then. Let's hear that.
So this is hand-me-down armor that has been obviously badly damaged in the battle between the dwarf and orcs in long time ago. And my father used to wear it. It was handed down from his father, and you know how these stories goes in the dwarves. But unfortunately, one day, as you know my trade, you've said you've heard about me, so you know that me and my family's been trading these parts. They've been there was an ambush caravan. My family and my father were traveling. They got killed. I hardly was able to run away. I was a young lad, and I've lost most of my family, but most importantly, the weapons and the armor. So it was a very long and a hard job to retrieve that, but retrieve it I did. Put it together in a workshop. Took me 2 years, on and off, trying to get pieces together, restore it to the glory that it obviously once was. I can't say that I would have fully restored it, but it is here now. It works well, and I'm proudly sort of wearing it for my family and for my father.
Aye, a true dwarven tradition, I say, of the, and your story echoes the great story of the kingdom under the mountain, the story of loss and struggle that we have all had to undertake, and the tenacity with which we fight to get it back. Now, I'll present a cheers to that. Durin's folk,
Aye.
our tenacity.
Spoken, give
Aye.
it to Durin's folk,
Turks asleep.
and ever forwards.
Okay. So I'm going to assume that you've decided that your role in life is to search for the bandits.
I'm
Feels
just
fair.
hoping there's some ruins on the way to the bandits.
It's
But I
a
do need
means
to get
to
out
an
of
end.
the town.
Yeah.
It seems an appropriate level of problem solving for our small group.
That feels legit to me. And also the railroad has gone off and is headed to Storytown, the train. So apologies for that. But this is what happens, I think, a little bit at the start of games of this nature. And you set off to the upper marches to the east of the running river. As kind of Gamia predicted a little, the weather's become a bit sketchy. There is some sharp showers of rain interspersed with bouts of sunshine, but the sun not as glorious as it once was as summer starts to fade into autumn. So this is a journey that we are going to remember how that works. So let me take a quick look.
3 dice in travel.
So
Yes. Okay. So let's get this right. So you're not traveling very far at all. So it's a relatively short kind of like journey out. So there's no fatigue tests or anything along those lines. But let's make lore checks to see if you get any bonus success dice during the journey.
Cool. That's just going to be the feet die for me.
Oh, okay.
it'll be
Do you know any songs? Do you know any good songs?
No.
15. What's 2 thing was?
Extraordinary success.
Yeah, 15 extraordinary success.
Okay. So you've got 3 bonus dice.
Rolled a 10.
Okay.
On the feet
You get no bonus dice.
Hello, got 1. So let's have a look. Okay, that's a 6. So probably not that good.
So no bonus dice.
Can I divvy mine out?
Yes, so quick reminder on bonus dice. Essentially, what you're able to do is you have to declare before the roll that you want to use the bonus dice on. You can only use 1 bonus dice for the roll. the bonus dice scope is essentially the journey and any tests or tasks that you're going to have within the journey, and you can pass bonus dice over to one of your companions.
Say one each.
You don't have to. You can declare that kind of like as and when you want to do that.
Alright.
So you don't have to spread them out like that. So say if Lothar was making a check that you really want to succeed, at that point you could say, okay, I'll give you one of the bonus dice.
Both be aware you have the option to use one.
Excellent.
Okay.
So I have I recovered my endurance?
Yes, everybody's recovered your endurance back and the endurance that you lost. So in terms then of this situation, Cirque, do you have any ideas as to the insight that Cirque might have about this particular journey that means that you're kind of able to aid your companions?
I'm assuming having sort of while they were sleeping off their hangovers the morning after the decision drinking session, I probably went and did some research on the areas.
Yep.
Mainly in hopes that I would locate something interesting that we could detour to on the way. But that'd be how I kind of knew a bit more about the route than them, maybe.
Yeah, okay. So you headed back to your lodgings, and you kind of spoke to the innkeep there, mentioned about this crag, and he gave you a little bit of a lay of the land in terms of how you would get there. He hasn't been able to tell you that there's anything specifically interesting on the journey, but he's kind of been able to kind of tell you the general direction that you need to kind of go in, maybe some of the dangers that you would likely encounter there, and also that if you kind of push much further on from there, you'll start to get into some of the more difficult marshes and fens, and therefore actually this is what you would need to be careful of.
I'll be drafting a map while he's talking to me about it.
So
And colouring it in like green and orange.
You go, oh no, it's not quite as far as that, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. So you're different shapes. You go, oh, is that really that difficult? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Is Clovis with us?
Clovis is not. No.
He's not. Okay.
Okay, so then I think we decide roles. You get to choose to roll. So it's the guide, in charge of all decisions concerning route, rest, and supplies. A scout, setting up camp and your trails.
I vote Cirque. Be the guide.
Huntsman and lookout man.
I've got a really good explore and a really good search. So yeah, guide. Is that explore?
Guide is travel.
My travel's 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Scout is explore.
I was about to propose
Huntsman
that
is
with
hunting.
guide because I could do 3. I can get 3 travel.
Well, if you want to go for that, then I'll go for whatever's explore. You say scout.
Scout is explore. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll scout then.
So Cirque.
Are we going to have travel roll? Sorry, just want to check.
So there's no fatigue test. So you won't need to make travel rolls as you would do on a longer journey. And Lothar is the guide.
Lothtar's guide.
Yeah, and Torg.
I mean, you can have 2 of the other roles, can't you? I'll be lookout.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So you head down the Merchant's Way and then you kind of cut off. You're not going that far. You spend the night just generally in the wilderness while camping, and then kind of moving off again. You're going across wilderness now rather than across a particular role. And could the scout and huntsman, so Cirque, could you make me one of explore, search, or hunting?
Oh, it's definitely going to be explore. Ooh, that'll be a 25 great success.
25 great success. Okay, yeah. So you're following your map that you kind of hastily sketched, and you think you're kind of doing okay, on track to kind of where you would be. As you are cresting over a small hillock and looking down on a wider plain, and the ground's starting to get a little bit marshy, there's a small copse off there. You can always look back and see the dominant form of the lonely mountain rising actually this morning above clouds. You can see its peak just kind of like peeking up at the top. You can probably hear before you see an argument in common, and then you see two figures, one a taller man, and then a very slender, quite lanky lad behind him. And at this point, they're about 20 yards away from each other, and they're having a bit of a stand-up row, and you can hear lots of, "No, I said east. No, the sun rises in the east, you fool. That would just be going west all this time." And you can kind of see down. They've got big, heavy backpacks on, and they look as if they've been drenched from one of the summer showers, and possibly not quite as happy as they could be. The man's got a Joe beard, kind of like grey, kind of coming through. Quite a hefty man, probably in his early 50s, as you're kind of like starting to kind of come down. And then what looks to be a son, very obvious familial relationship, late teens. I've had enough of this. Mum was right. We shouldn't have gone out like this. You don't know what you're doing. I've never been taught what to do. This is just ridiculous. Oh. I'm out of here. I'm not moving a step forward. Well, that is absolutely typical of you. The hard, as soon as anything gets hard, you just stop and you give up and you expect me to bail you out.
Hail, travellers.
Kind of like spin around. Oh, hi. Yeah, the guy moves from like furious to massive politeness, just like that.
What appears to be your consternation?
There's no problem here. Okay, let's handle this as an encounter. So we will start with some preliminary rolls. So everybody make insight rolls.
3 dice.
That's a 1.
Ooh. Oh, I have Sauron, but 14 with a Tangwar.
So a great success. It's still a great success.
Yeah, it's still a great success. Yeah. Okay, great success. You get 2 bonus dice, albeit tainted by the shadow.
Mm-hmm. So I already have a dot in perception, but because I got a great, I do get the second dot.
Advancement. Yeah, that's correct. Cirque. Sorry, I have to keep looking at a sheet with your character names on because I haven't got it yet.
Yeah, just the 1.
1. Okay, and Loftar?
7.
Okay, so no bonus dice. So Cirque, you've well met. The older figure is a little bit guarded. The younger figure kind of like looks up, stands, kind of like jogs a little bit closer, again a little bit wary. You can see he reaches to like a little bit of a dagger by his side. He's got like a wispy kind of like beard, caterpillar, hairy caterpillar across his.
No need for daggers, Stan. What's your problem?
There's no problem here, dwarf. No
all
problem
right, then.
at all.
Let's go. There's no problem here, guys. Let's carry on.
Wait, you look lost. Cirque, hang on. We might be able to help these people.
Offered help. They said there was no problem.
Are you lost? You were talking of the sun and the direction.
Oh, we
There.
Dad. Well, son comes over. We're lost. Yeah, we're lost. We're trying to get back to Dale. We haven't got a clue. No, that's not true, son.
Walk that way.
I'd like to. I'll pull out my pipe and my smoking pouch, and let's rest a minute and get our bearings. Here, do you smoke? Would you like some of this? It's hobbit weed.
Make a courtesy check.
None of your
good
death
grief.
sticks.
3.
Okay.
So you don't actually offer them any. You just go, "Do you smoke? I do."
Yeah. So it fails. It completely eludes me, and I just pull out my pipe and say, "Yeah, I find the best thing to do at a time like this is to inhale a deep draft of the Ram's Bottom finest and just take in the sounds and the sky for a moment. Here, we'll soon gather our bearings."
Well, we used to have some Ram's Bottom finest, didn't we, son? Until you dropped it into the river.
Oh, you had a success dice you could have used.
Never mind.
Bonus dice, rather.
Oh, I think we've come from over in that way near Torg.
If you're looking for the big mountains over there. Over there, see, big mountain, only one on the horizon.
And where is it? Where is it you're trying to get to?
We're trying to get to Dale, back to Dale. We've been
Well,
trying
we've
to get
come
back to
from
Dale
there.
for the last 2 days. So which way do we go? Which way do we go?
Mountain, horizon, keep telling you.
I'll point back the way we came. Can I make a travel roll or possibly? Yeah, it's probably travel, isn't it?
Yeah, okay, make a travel roll. Yeah, to
point out
provide
the
precise,
direction.
practical directions. Yeah.
We came past those a large group of square stones on an incline, and along the river. We followed the river for maybe 2 miles, and I've rolled 10, 13, 18.
Yeah. Okay. Oh well, that's really helpful.
Point.
Where are you? Where are you headed?
Correct.
We are wandering dwarves, and we seek. My friend Cirque here is looking for ruins, actually. So we're merely travelling hither and thither.
That's in the
Looking
bandits.
for-
We're looking for the bandits.
Cirque, we're
They're
looking
clearly
for
not the bandits. They don't have any blue names.
bandit ruins. We're looking for bandit ruins.
The bandits live in a ruin? No one told me this.
Can I make a riddle roll to try and signify to Cirque that he needs to
be on the page?
Yes. Oh, a Gandalf, a 5 and a 1.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So you can see that
Point.
that Torg is really trying to kind of like
I use English.
smooth.
I'm using some symbols.
Oh,
Cirque,
right.
we're looking for
He said the
ruins.
magic word of ruins. That's all that Cirque's now fixated on.
Remember the ruins that you wanted to see, Cirque? That's where we're going. That's what you asked for.
But the more ruins through there. The other side of this creek, it'll look like a goat trail, but it broadens out into a big path, fairly well trodden. I don't know if there are any ruins that way, but if there are, they'll be round by the crag, I would imagine, and that's a way out there.
Well, and is that north?
That's east.
East of here, along the trail.
It's just go east, and then it bends down to the south. Well, and the sun says, "Dad, it's not the south. It is the south sun."
I was going to say, is the one telling us it's east the one who doesn't know where the sun rises?
Yeah. This reminds me of when we used to go on holiday with my mum and dad, and my mum would be like, "Turn left at roundabout," and my dad would be like, "Hold up your left hand," and my mum would hold up her right, and you're like, "Oh." There we have it. You get some directions anyway, and you kind of move.
So there's a trail. Oh, okay. Yep. Do they look like they know where they're going now? Are they?
Yeah. So armed with your your directions, they kind of thank you and then move forward with a great sense of purpose. Also, they're going to use the mountain on the horizon as the guide.
I'm not entirely sure how much I trust their directions towards the ruins, being as they couldn't find the mountain.
Okay.
I think they were hapless travelers.
You were very kind to them, considering they were men.
Well, men have their uses. I'm not I'm not I'm not an ally of men unless I have to be. But where there's a value in learning from them, then I suppose we should.
Okay, so you find the trail that does start out like a goat or a sheep trail, but broadens out into something a little bit more. You're disappointed that when you do get to the crags, there isn't a great deal there. At one time, perhaps, if you were to kind of like be very generous in your review of it, there could possibly have been a watchtower base on the upper one, but there's nothing of any great substance for you to be able to find. And could you make me another explore roll, please?
Yeah.
Is this just Cirque?
Just Cirque, yes, please.
Regular.
Okay. You're starting to get to the marshlands now. And you've been out for another few, maybe 2 more days, and there's starting to be thick mists and very still winds. So the thick mist hangs in the air. It's a little bit more chill, and you're pleased that you did actually pack those extra cloaks that you wondered about. Make me another explore roll, Cirque, please. As the afternoon of the day rolls on. I can't hear you. Do you say something?
17, great.
Oh, 17, great.
Yeah.
As you are kind of like scouting ahead, not that far from the group, and this isn't like pea super mist or anything, but it's a very dull, overcast, as if you were walking in clouds in the peak. You can see that there's a trail, a very brief trail of tracks of men, relatively fresh, you would say, maybe the last couple of days, and you would reckon it's 2 or 3 fairly skilled travellers. There's very little track left, and actually the way in which they dart between some of the fens and the marshes suggests that they've got knowledge of the area. They're picking out the most effective and efficient routes for you to kind of be moving through.
I'll raise that to the others in the group.
Yeah.
Is it it's great and a trait for third one, isn't it?
Great and a trait, yes.
Could I use determined as my trait to say I was determined to find a way?
Don't think so.
Hardy?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Ruining all my fun.
All your fun.
I'd agree with that decision, I think.
What, that I'm ruining all of this fun?
Yeah, but also the decision that ruined the fun. I'd also agree with that.
Well, wait till you try and get your third one in.
I'm ready to have my fun ruined. I'm prepared.
I've got so few actual. I'm great at 3 very specific things and rubbish at everything else.
It's not a bad way. Yeah, harder you can withstand long hours of toil and travel far without rest under extreme conditions. I don't know any of those have been achieved. So
during the exploring, it's hard. It's a bit cold. It's a bit miserable out.
You've had to put an extra jumper on.
Yeah, I've had to explore. I'm very bookish. This is hardy for me.
Make me another explore roll.
Uh, 14 regular.
Okay, you continue into the marshland. You spend a night out there without anything more. So could I have another explore roll for the morning, as you seem to have found a narrow trail through the reeds?
That's a Gandalf exceptional.
Gandalf extraordinary.
Extraordinary, that one. Still doesn't get me a third.
Okay, so you as you're kind of like coming coming along, and it's getting towards late morning. The mist has started to burn away a little, but not greatly. You find some food that's kind of rotted meat. It looks like it's been rotted for a little while, and it looks like it looks like trail meat, but it's been eaten by a creature with sharp incisors. And it's gathered around quite a poorly made camp. No craftsman or woodsman would have like patted down the fire and all that kind of stuff. This is poorly made. And leaving the clearing that you're in, you find orc tracks.
I was going to say, I point
footprints.
the point the eat meat, the sharp tooth meat out to these two guys. Looks more like your territory than mine.
Orc sign. What time of day is it? This is morning.
It's late morning, like 11 a.m.
Late morning.
or
Okay.
equivalent.
Have we seen orc sign up to this point? We haven't seen kind of, well shod boot marks or anything.
No.
So this is the first. Is it worth a search of the area?
Did the men tracks run this way?
They were like a day or so ahead, and you've been following in the most obvious route that they would have taken. So, it's up to you to draw whatever conclusions you draw. They were in broadly the same way, but whether they skirted off at some point that you lost the tracks or what have you, you haven't seen the men tracks recently. But that's not to say that they just didn't leave tracks.
Where orcs? The only answer.
We're rocks. That's absolutely right. 100%.
Half
They were men.
Search
Turned
might be
into
good, Joe. I think.
hobgoblin. Can I use hunting to try
You can.
to determine whether any of them broke away from the camp or whether there's any other orc sign around? I have hunting skill level of 2. And I've rolled 11. Oh well.
So you have a little look around, and the hunting skill lends itself more to wild creatures than to orcs or men. So you're trying to kind of extend and infer, but you don't find any clear signs to say that is the case.
Maybe I'll just search the area because it feels like maybe there are some clues.
Start to look through more methodically, kind of like just looking to see what you're able to find. Make me a search roll.
So if I can do this, because I was about to say that the rolls were shit up until this point. So I was hoping with my search of 3, I will do well. But you will be disappointed to hear that out of I'm looking at 4 dice and the total is 6.
So you don't find anything that Cirque hasn't already pointed out to you.
So do we follow?
Well,
we think the men were going, or do you want to follow the orcs instead?
My
I
instinct
love to
is
follow the orc.
Yeah, my instinct is to hunt orc flesh as well.
For the orcs?
How many? Do you have any sense of how many there were here, Cirque?
Or is it Gandalf Extraordinary you rolled? Last one? So you think that there are probably somewhere between 5 through... Certainly not 10, but certainly more than 5. So, somewhere in that region.
There was 6, 7, or 8, or 9 of them.
More towards the 6 or 7 than the 8 or 9, and one of them seemed to be a heavier tread than the others.
Heavier. 2 of them walk with a limp.
But different,
That's
different
doable.
legs. One's a left limp and one's a right limp.
It's like they're doing the 3-legged race.
Exactly. Like, in fact, now you've just found a spoon and an egg.
I suspect it's Orc Sports Day.
And just down there's a sack.
Oh,
Is it a smelly sack?
it's
I'm not going near an orc sack. I got out of town to stop looking at them.
Oh, let's not end up in sacks today.
Yeah, that would be a bad thing.
TPK. Yes,
Well,
follow the orcs then.
that's
Stealthily.
a good amount of information you have about these orcs. So
Well,
let's.
it's
Scandalf extraordinary. I'll do that for you, I think.
just from what's on the ground here. Back to this list
Well
of
scouted.
Things they left.
Well, let us hunt some orcs.
So much more alert than perhaps you otherwise would have been, either mattocks drawn or certainly kind of like in to hand, and not necessarily stealthily, but paying careful attention. You continue to advance into what is now becoming a real marsh. So this is the peak districts after heavy rain. This is pockets of deep mud that you kind of want to work your way around. Ground that you're not quite sure whether you're going to sink or not in. And if you make the mistake, then it's kind of easily up to your shins, kind of up to your knees, and every so often you kind of have to get one of your companions to kind of pull you forward. But the ground starts to harden off a little bit, and you can see that there's almost kind of like a slight rise forward. And can I have awareness rolls for everybody, please?
Don't get your hopes up about the results, though.
That's a big 2.
I have Sauron and a 3.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Lothar. It's all on you.
4. That's just 4.
Is that 4?
That's it. Yes, 4.
Oh, okay.
Right, 2, 3, 4. We're consistent.
But you're not getting better. This is
No.
part of the problem. Okay.
I only have the feet die for awareness.
Forgotten how frequently awareness comes up.
Oh, yeah. It's like any perception in most role-playing games, isn't it? So, as you're kind of like starting to clamber up this, am I going to sneeze or not? I don't know.
Got a bright light.
Excuse me.
Science behind it.
As you start to move upwards towards the this slight rise, you don't notice the orcs until it's too late, and the spears come shooting out of the mist towards you all.
I just wanted to make a point that would it be possible to use sometimes battle when like we know we're kind of hunting orc, or is it always?
So you can use battle as a substitute for awareness, and you do know that you're going to be fighting orcs. So those, okay. So that's a fair spot, Matt. So those of you who wish to use battle instead of awareness, if you want to make that roll now.
I feel like we know where we're walking into.
No. I see where you're coming from, and the rules do allow you to use battle for a surprise check.
Okay. So,
yeah. Okay.
oh, that's.
I don't know if don't you have like enemy lore or something like that.
Fuck. Still a bloody Eye of Sauron.
Yeah, same
9.
here. I've got Eye of Sauron as well.
It's
Jesus
worse.
Christ, guys.
We made it worse.
See, this is what I was like. I've got 0 in awareness and 0 in battle. If I'd said, yeah, I'm going to do that, it would have just been for a free reroll, and I wasn't doing it.
No, but
that's what Karma does.
Okay, I need to pass it though, so because that's serious. I've got like literally 11, which is bullshit, and the Eye of Sauron. I'm going to have to spend the point of hope because I really need to get that battle roll in because I cannot be surprised basically. So I'm spending my second point of hope.
Okay.
To be.
If you're doing that, then I should do it as well. I mean, there's no point. So that'll give me target number 16. Well, that'll give me a result of 16 if I do that.
Okay. What would you get, Lifter?
17.
Okay, cool. So, as you're kind of moving forward, kind of the mist start to thicken as the shadow acts against you. with your eyes of Sauron. I think that would be thematically, narratively right. But it must be,
if these guys are both actually evil.
yeah, it must be the years of being underground that allow you to kind of pierce through that murk. As it kind of just thickens, so instead of being burned off, it's thickened, and perhaps maybe that's just made it darker for you to be able to see, and you can see the orc figures ahead of you. You aren't able to warn Cirque, though. You don't have that opportunity, so Cirque is still surprised. If at least half the heroes of the company are not surprised, then the fight resolves if the company was defeated. Right, okay. So, so you aren't ambushed, because at least half of you were not surprised, and therefore you're treated as if you're defending. So you get combat. So determine the initiative. You guys are defending against an advancing enemy. The orcs are kind of seeking to attack you guys, so you will be going first, and you get combat advantages. So everybody apart from Cirque can roll battle against TN14.
Come on.
Oh no, I can't roll just one dice.
Would have got a point
Okay,
in that
that's better.
invocation for that last roll.
Okay.
Oh, a little bit better, but no, not. It's 11 with the Tangwa.
Okay.
So, nothing.
This is first. This is starting characters, isn't it? It's even with the additional kind of like points and such like and laughter.
Yeah, I've got to. I've done better. It's 23 for me.
That'd do it. 23 normal.
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay, so you get one success, one bonus success dice
it.
that you can do. So you guys are active first. So well, actually, opening volleys get resolved simultaneously. So you can do any opening volleys if you wish.
I don't think we've got any.
Yeah, I don't think you have.
Specifically got rid of my spear.
You
just throw
Cirque,
sanities up.
Cirque, you have a shield, don't you?
I do.
Does anybody else have a shield?
Mm-mm.
So you can double the value of your shield in terms of your parry rating for opening volleys.
Okay, so that'll be a 10 parry.
Oh, okay. So a spear comes out of the darkness, the mist, and hits you, Cirque, for 4 damage.
Damage off. Is it off our endurance?
Off your endurance, yeah. One whistles and kind of like hits into the shoulder blade of Torg for 4 damage.
4. Bolts.
And also one whistles through and connects with Loftar for 4 damage.
Okay.
And then close quarters, there are a number of orc figures kind of like race out. The taller one stands at the back. Get them! Kill them! Kill the human scum! And then 6 orcs, in addition to the taller one, come flooding through.
Human scum.
Dwarven scum. So choose stances.
Forward.
Torg is driven by his hatred of the greenskins, so he charges forward into a forward position. Yeah.
Okay, same for Loftar and Cirque. Yes,
Cirque's forward as well.
Oh, okay, cool. You race forward. You've got 2 orcs engaged with you. The orcs are they've got bent swords, crooked and blackened blades that kind of come back over. Ferocious creatures incisors down, undercut jaws. Kill, suck the blood. Come racing down. You guys go first. Cirque, I think you've got the highest wits, goes first.
To swing at the one on the right.
Yep.
9.
So that's 6. No. Bashes it away with its sword. Torg.
Okay, so swinging wildly with his mattock. 2 dice, and it's a bad roll. It's 7.
Yeah, okay. You're swinging too widely as it kind of goes up and over.
We've already been hit by spears, so
Lovdar.
slightly off balance.
So the problem I have with this game, I actually don't know what a difficult combat is for you guys.
Any combat?
Yeah, it looks that way.
It's,
Lovdar.
it's swinging.
Yeah, that's the problem. It is swinging.
When you're
Okay.
more one than one-on-one.
Do they have any shields, these orc?
They don't.
Okay. So I just thinking about actions. Okay, I'll just attack the one I have in front of me.
Okay.
Sort of heavy swing with my mattock, full of hatred. Die, scum. Now we have problems now again. So I have Sauron. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
And
I'm shot incoming. Yeah.
And I've rolled 6.
Okay, yeah,
It's
so
just...
you kind of swing, but
So,
they've got the higher ground. The clagging mud is still kind of like...
What's the target number?
Well, it's your... Because you're in forward stance, it's 6 plus their parry.
Which is,
Okay.
what's their parry, like 5 or something?
4.
So, 4, yeah. So it's low.
Do you know what? I don't care. I'm smart. I need to just sort of turn this around. I'm going to spend another point of hope and hit the bloody thing in the chest with my mattock.
Okay.
Have you burnt through 3 plus hope already?
Yep.
Yeah, but there would be the fellowship pool of hope, wouldn't there? Well, there's a fellowship pool that you can take to replenish your hope, which we didn't sort out, so we'll work that.
I've got a plan, Ben.
Okay, so you hit it?
I'm hitting the guy. At least I hope, because I'm now 15, so
Oh,
I've got
that hits.
15.
Yeah.
And 8 damage.
I know you've got old hatred, Matt.
Yes, that make it 11, right?
It's 11. Yeah, 11. That's it. You feel that pain.
Okay, describe to us, Lovtar, the swing as you connect with the orc.
It's just been very sort of disappointing, the activities of today, and I just feel like I want to make a certainty, so a normal sort of midway, simple for a warrior like me. It's a simple swing, just in the middle, just hit in the biggest bit to make sure you get it.
Okay, cool. They have a go now back at you. With their swords. So the 2 that are on you, sir. What am I looking for?
My parry's 8, so
14. You manage to dodge out of the way, shield against its sword. The second one comes in. You kind of spin around as it kind of like dies. As it dives at you, missing you with both. The 2 against Torg, they're trying to just taunt you as you've kind of like completely missed. You're still a little bit into the mud. What am I trying to hit there?
A parry of 4, so
10.
I guess 10. Yeah.
10 beats. It kind of comes back around, manages to catch you just kind of like on the side a little bit. Does cut into you. Your armor managed to deflect quite a lot of that though, as you kind of get into it. The second one.
I'm winded.
Yeah, you're wounded.
No, I'm winded.
Oh, okay.
So-
Yeah. Second one swings hard, but the light, the mist starts to just break a little bit, and the light comes down and distracts it kind of slightly. Then the
Okay.
two.
So any damage?
No, it didn't hit you. No.
Oh, cool.
And then Lothar, kind of the one that's been wounded, spits its blood out at you as it kind of comes in. And
I like drinking that.
what's your rating? What am I trying to hit? 6+.
Do a
4.
shot.
6 + 4, 10. And it does. It does. Yeah, so it kind of comes in, smashes at you really hard, right on the wrist. You drop your mattock into the ground, and you take 4 damage.
Ooh.
Get him! Get him! Okay, so now back to you guys.
Yeah, all right, then I guess I'll just swing again.
I didn't catch that.
10.
10. That will hit.
So 5 damage.
Okay.
It's a regular hit.
Do you want to describe that to me?
Yeah, so as I've kind of spun and kind of dodged one and taken the one on the shield from the other, as I'm kind of rolling back from the shield blow, I'll just kind of slice and try and kind of cut him across his stomach.
Yeah. Okay. Torg. Right, I've lost you. I can't get audio.
Oh, there we are. Sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah, okay.
Torg is shaken. His the black orcish bolt to his shoulder, and seeing his friends get hit. The reality of the situation is upon him. So he starts to concentrate on his father's heroic deeds, Azanul Bazaar, and completely fails to make contact with the orcs in front of him.
Stop thinking about your dad and hit him.
Rolling a 7. I could make that. Actually, I can make that connect with a 15 if I spend a point of hope.
Yeah.
So I'll do that.
Yep. Okay. How much damage is that?
So that makes use of both Grievous and Old Hatred, and does 13 points of damage.
Ow! It bites into it, kind of powered by just the almost little bit of guilt and sense of failure that you're not been doing better at this. You should be better at this. And you smash into it, kind of like gets knocked.
Torg finds the words. He hears himself muttering the words "Kazad, Kazad," but somehow unable to really find his battle cry within him.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Evdar.
So I'm weary.
Okay.
But that just gets me going. Right, that's it. You die here now. That's it. That's what I'm going to do. I have one with me who's just normal, and one who's wounded. Right?
You've got one who's
that's
quite
the
badly
situation.
wounded, so he's breathing, and one who is normal. Yes.
Okay, so I'll attempt to finish him off. I'm just attacking the wounded one.
Yeah. So when you're weary,
right,
a 1
okay.
to 3 counts as a 0.
So I've got 13.
13 hits.
10 damage, please.
11 damage.
You smash into it. Oh well, you had to pick up your mattock, haven't you? Because you were disarmed.
Oh yeah, sorry. No, I apologize. Forgot that. Yes, I can't attack then. I have to pick up my mattock.
Yeah.
Well, you could switch to your short sword or dagger if you're carrying one.
They're just no good. They're for men.
So
Let's just carry
fueled.
them for.
So let's just say, because this is first session and we're all just finding our feet a little bit, fueled by the worry and just by the chance to just to let out this pent up energy of orc killing. Lofter grabs the mattock and swing it up, connects with the orc, sending it flying backwards. In a universe shaking bending of the rules to the advantage of the players to kind of like keep the wheels on the game.
Yeah.
But we'll live with it. Okay, cool. That one. The others look over and kind of like a little bit of fear, but there's enough kind of them that they feel they can carry the day. So the wounded one next to you, Cirque, kind of takes a go and misses you as you duck underneath it. His companion, however, slices in with 4 damage. The one that you really badly wounded, Torg, again, kind of like is really tentative, and you manage to bat it away quite easily. And then the second one swings too high, can't quite get the footing in the med. And the one that's on you, Loftar, hits, doing 4 endurance. Okay, Cirque.
I'm now weary. So we'll swing again. Just because what we're doing. A 12 great success.
Okay, that hits, and
So that'll be 11 damage.
what on which one? The one that you've already hit, or the new one?
Yeah, the one I've been concentrating on, the one on the left.
Yeah. You stab straight through its defenses.
Draw me sword out, turn to face the other one.
Yeah. Okay. Torg.
Okay, so I'm going to focus on the one that's not injured, and let's see. Swing my mattock in a kind of upward swing, rolling a 13,
That hits.
and cry. I cry out. Soon you will join Azog the Defiler as a swing upwards.
Doing 13 endurance.
No, sorry, roll 13,
Okay.
and I do. I do 13 damage.
Yep.
8 plus
Yeah.
2 plus 3.
Oh, there's a Grievous, and then there is the Orc
Hatred.
Hatred.
What's the base for a mattock?
8.
You know.
Farmer's implement,
Yeah.
as I believe it was described earlier on in the evening.
Oh,
Those
farmer's
farmers
tool.
don't fuck around.
Get off my land.
Loftar.
Yeah. Okay. This is he's just inspired by his latest kill. I'm assuming he's dead, right? He's just dropped down, evaporated.
Oh yeah, he's dead. Hasn't evaporated. He's just like died, like people do.
Evaporated like milk.
You will
Yeah.
join him now. Yeah, you will join him now, as I say to the other orc, with massive anger in my eyes. So much so that I will spend my additional die to make sure that he gets it, and to be extra sure that he gets it. I'm aiming for his head, just going for a precision shot, top bottom.
So are you going
let's
for
do
a
it.
cold shot?
No, I
Okay,
can't
cool.
do these because Mattock only smashes the shield.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
this armor weapon. However, I've got 21 great success.
That'll do quite a chunk of work.
Well,
So I think he gets
So that's your damage.
18 damage.
18. So that's your weapon damage. It's your personal damage, whatever's in your damage box, and then plus
Yeah.
3, 18.
Yeah.
Describe how you
18, yeah.
smash his head.
It stops probably where his bottom would have been. It just sort of goes through the whole body, just sort of ripping things apart and splashing everywhere with his horrible black blood.
Yeah.
I think we'd found out what Loftar's good at.
Yeah, I think we have.
I used to like mine. I used to like mining. So
Yeah. Okay. So that's that. So I get to go now. Okay. So there is one left on you, Cirque. And he misses. Kind of like comes in, you bash him away with a shield. There's the one that was quite badly wounded on you, Torg.
Yep.
That's going to hit. That's 20. Does 4 damage. And there are none left on Loftar. So now stances. Okay, so we've kind of skipped a little part of the actual chance. So now we get to choose stances. Does anybody want to change their stance?
No, I'll stay forward.
Okay. Because there isn't any on Loftar, one of the wounded ones that was on you, Torg, kind of steps across to defend against Loftar. It's just seen smash his friend. The big orc at the back is taking a pace backwards. Can everybody make me awareness rolls, please?
love those.
Does it have to be awareness? Can we
It does
use
have
battle
to be
or
awareness.
okay, fair enough.
10.
8 for me.
Oh, 11.
Okay. So you see, but a little bit too late for you to do anything about 3 mere human figures towards the back of what looks to be the camp. They look and go, shite, and then start to kind of head off into the marsh at a reasonable speed, but as fast as you could kind of go in the marsh. The orc looks behind, and kind of the big orc looks behind. Oh, cowards! And starts to kind of like move back himself. Okay, so your
Fuck help.
turns. There's one on each of you.
Swing again. Uh, 14 great success,
Hits.
so 11 damage.
That's quite a wound you inflict. Describe the hit.
I sort of like being kind of I've just taken a blow on my shield, and I just whack at his knee, trying to cripple him.
Yeah, it's easier for you to kind of get down there. He does look a little crippled.
I'm not afraid to fight dirty.
Torg, the one that you're fighting, is like.
Yeah, I'm just gonna swing at it. Starting to step into the role of warrior a little bit more confidently now. Well, let's say that, but let's roll. I roll 12.
That hits.
It hits. Amazing, and it will deal.
Oh, it's down. Yeah, he's going to
14.
describe how you describe how you kill it.
Okay, so he turns the mattock round to the pointy tang end, and he just steps forward and rams the tang into the orc's skull, and kind of forces it in, and just kind of with laser focus is just staring into the orc's eyes, nose to nose with it, as the last life drains from the orc, and he revels in that. See the orc watching as a dwarf takes his life from him.
So, so that was a little.
He steps away from the
Is
body
he quite a short
with
orc?
blood on it. He's tall for a dwarf. Is Torg? I think he's 4.5 feet or something.
Nice.
Matt, there's a few other cool shots that you can make use of. They're in the companion book on page kind of 110. You're not just limited to breaking shields.
Yeah, okay. I'll definitely have a look at that. I was a bit apprehensive because of my bloody rolling history, but I'll definitely look into that.
You can switch to
Great
online
armor
dice
sounds.
rollers if you want, guys. You don't actually have to use those badly weighted dice that I seem to have palmed off on you. Okay,
No,
anyway,
but
Liftar, it's your
I
turn.
like
You kind of heard Torg's scream and the scrunch of this orc, and you hear the big orc behind go, fuck.
Yeah, so I'm just going to follow up in Torg's sort of path. Clean clean shot. Sorry, just an attack with as much hatred. We need to mow them down. I'm thinking about getting the big guy, making sure that he doesn't run away, and then he pays the price. So, without much further ado, let's do an attack. So I'm attacking the wounded one that's ahead of me. Okay, I Gandalf that bit.
Nice.
But I don't have any sort of like
Describe to me how
Sorry, I
you
don't have
cave
any
his
great.
head or other body parts in, because the minimum amount of damage
Yes,
that you can do is going to do it.
so I would just sort of swing across, just wanting to make sure. Again, it's one of those where you just want to make sure that you get it, because I can see Torg's got one, so I need to get one to just sort of push them back and make sure that they are scared shitless and they just
Get at
really
least a half more.
do not want to engage us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just across, like just a slash, boom, into the body. Hopefully, see him flying, break some bones. See ya.
Okay, cool. It drops down.
In
The
11.
bones splinter. Okay, so let me get back to my combat check sheet. So now the one on Cirque has a go at him. 9, that'll miss. Kind of Cirque's fighting with a shield. So then we go up to the top. So choosing stances.
Forward.
How many are left?
So
Is there
there's
just
one engaged with Cirque, and then there's a big one who will be engaging now.
who started to? Okay.
He was
Right.
backing away. Another one of his ones went down, but you can look in his eyes, and the intensity of the killing blow seems to have furthered his blood pumping, and it looks as if he's going to be lunging forward to join the foe, the
Okay.
fight.
Well, I'm starting to feel the first twinges of a battle frenzy, so I'm going to go into forward stance.
Okay.
No forbidden.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were in already.
I am. Yeah. I mean, in the face
forward.
of this,
The front of forward.
in the face of this, this big tough.
Yeah.
orc.
Okay. Anybody else changing stance? Anybody changing stance?
No, we're good. We're good. We need to finish them off.
Okay, so engagement. So there's one on Cirque. This other one steps forward in front of Torg. Comes down, and it's got a huge two-handed scimitar bent across that it's kind of wielding. You, Lothar, get to choose who you engage because you guys outnumber them.
I'm gonna have to go for the big guy.
Okay. As this figure kind of like steps forward, he says, "Long go, that halfling maggot. He set us up very well indeed. He wants the needle for himself. I hope the sorcerer gets the fool and freezes the flesh off his back."
Treachery.
And smashes
Treachery.
forward, and at that point, the sword smashes down, and as there's kind of like Torg pushes the orc away from the tang end and beats his blade, and Loftar steps across, coming in, dancing away. Cirque and the other orc kind of further down the hill, a little bit involved in their own dance to death. So Cirque, you get to kind of go first.
Bring away.
Can't believe Clovis is really
Really?
longo.
Never trust a hobbit. 18 just regular, so 5 damage.
Ka! You run the orc through into the marsh, and you see kind of like silhouetted up against the side of the hill, this large orc figure smashing into Torg, smashing down.
I'll
This
clean my
Torg
blade
kind of like
and
looks.
begin walking up the hill.
Yeah. Okay, Torg.
I'm going to try to take a wild swing at this, or maybe target his knees.
Okay.
Burn down to your size.
Yeah. Oh, that's slightly better. 16.
That will hit.
Well, that will be 13 damage because he is an orc, and my
Yes.
mattock is grievous.
So
So yeah, I'm kind of trying to. I guess I'm sort of falling backwards
Smash.
under the weight of this orc's blows, and I'm swinging wildly at his legs.
Yeah. It's dancing backwards. You manage to catch him. He kind of falls a little bit down, scrabbling into the mud. He's covered in thick mud. Loftar. All I want to say now is you get advantage because he's prone, but that's not the game we're playing. So
I've
Loftar, remember
focused now.
you're weary. So remember 1 through 3 counts as 0.
Yeah, I'm focusing in my mind, making sure that I treat this big enemy with a bit more respect.
Well, it's currently
But
in the
still
mud
doesn't
with
stop
like
playing.
Torg over it, smashing down. It's kind of like dodging out of the way, like Luke Skywalker dodging a sand person.
Hit him, Loftar! Hit him now!
You won't have to worry about Longo or anybody else after today. Let me help you with that.
He does a lot of
let's-
talking,
let's do
Loftar.
He narrates. I mean, this is the 30-second round there or thereabouts that he's got. He can have a little bit of chatter.
It's the monologue going.
Yeah.
Right, let's get down to business. No, it was 12. Obviously, I'm in forward, right? So it's 12.
So it looks like you're about to smash your mattock right down in its head, and then with its snake-like speed, it calls upon the forces of the shadow just to quickly dodge out of its way, spending one of its hate points, which I've been neglecting to do just to try to get a feel for the combat. Yeah, has to be said. But it doubles its parry score and manages to kind of get out.
And does it seem like it's got a lot of hate left?
We rolled a couple of thingies, didn't we?
It feels empowered by the shadow at this moment in time, I guess. For what it's worth.
We need
Can I
to stop
get enemy
rolling those
check, please?
ISL rolls.
Sorry. Sorry, Doctor.
Who are we engaged with? Sorry, just wanted to check. We got a big guy and a small guy.
There's just a big guy.
It's going to be all
Okay.
3 of us pounding on the big guy soon.
Oh, this is it. That's how we.
That sounds
That's what we want to do. Is
sounds like.
While rolling around in the mud, Paul's getting excited.
I know. I was going to say 3.
how do you get the glory
3
stories
dwarf,
about
1 orc.
dwarves beating orcs?
Three guys pounding one guy in the mud. Anyway, moving along. So he kind of like from down in the mud. There's Torg over him. He's get him! Stop talking and get him! Left up, and then mightily I strode forward, and henceforth
Take
now
this down.
I shall now be getting down to the business. I just swing down. It's light, snake-like darts out of the way. I don't even know if I'm rolling the right amount of dice here. I'm not rolling the right amount of dice here, so let me actually roll the right amount of dice. Kind of trying to... Oh, it gets a Gandalf, which is bad news for it.
Excellent.
And kind of like just it's still scrabbling. Kind of just it's holding off basically your blows, but not able to kind of get anything kind of like back. Cirque, you see this as you kind of start to steadfastly move up the hill, and we move to the top of the combat turn. So anybody want to change their stance?
Nope, forward.
Their stance on orc killing? Maybe
Yeah.
just dial it back a little bit towards more a neutral stance.
No. Always optional.
That's like a default.
Okay, so forward, and there's no engagement changes, so it is close combat. So circ.
I'm just looking for a gap in between everyone else's swinging blows at this guy on the floor.
So 3 of you can get around a equivalent human size.
Those 11 damage.
Oh, so what did you hit?
16.
16, 4, 10. Okay, yeah, you smash it, and Cirque still keels. Describe to us how you're doing.
So Lothtar's narrating. Torg is there just sort of wailing on this guy. And while he's kind of like holding off the master wells, I just look for a gap and then just stab it in his neck.
Did you kill it?
Yeah.
I stole the kill. the non-combat bookish dwarf.
You goal hanger.
That's good.
I'm just
Quiet. Still. In the marsh.
I'm hardy.
One of the bodies of the orcs slowly starts to sink into some of the
Can we search him for treasure?
mud. They have a few bits and pieces on them, but nothing of any great import. And we'll call it there.
Cool.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Wow.
Cool. Nice one.
Yeah. Okay. So first session, first one I've ran of the One Ring for a while.
It was good.
I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Good to get back into the swing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, I think I did hold back a little bit there in terms of the capabilities that the orcs have. I do definitely need to just think
Probably
about.
appropriately.
Yeah, I think I need to think about the balance. But like, what was a two weary combatants?
Yeah, it's not down to weary.
Yeah. Okay, so that's not an easy fight by any measure, but that's quite good. So yes, so unless there are 2 halflings, you may have been sold. Line.
Did we not notice that Clovis was sat there with like just a pocket full of blue handkerchiefs, just pulling them out like a wizard?
There we
I
go.
think we probably could have done more to suss him out.
Yeah,
but,
we just believed
there
what
we
he
go.
said,
Maybe it is just a clue.
but then we
Rather
were
than
also
a-
looking for an excuse to get out of town.
Final thing. There's in terms of end of session stuff.
Yes, please
There's-
help me.
So the checklist that I've got is fellowship, focus, hope, recovery. So this might be a good time to work out our
Yeah,
fellowship focus. Well, basically, so that you recover 1 if your fellowship focus is not
Wounded,
how it
isn't it?
works?
It's
Not
whether they took
wounded
it
or-
or...
No, yeah, not seriously impaired or what have you, isn't it?
Yeah, weary's fine.
So, yeah. So how many would you have in the fellowship pool? Do you start with 1 per hero?
1 per player, basically.
1
per
player,
hero,
and
yeah.
then there's extra bonus if one of you is a hobbit.
A hobbit of
Yes.
the Shire.
A hobbit of the Shire. So you'd had 3. So let's just say that Matt would have replenished his hope pool from the fellowship pool.
Yeah.
Are we okay with that?
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
I spent 3.
Oh, you spent
I
3.
spent
Okay, well,
3
I'll
on
leave
that
it to you guys to decide how you want
Share it,
to.
Yeah, you can
share
fight
it.
amongst yourselves. I didn't spend any, so...
Matt, do you want to take 2?
No.
I'll recover 1.
Yeah, okay. Feels fair.
Okay.
So then fellowship focus. So who would be your fellowship foci?
I've made my decision. So I think Torg detected some animosity and some reluctance from Cirque, and I think he sees that as his challenge. He wants to gain Cirque's trust and friendship
Okay.
because he sees him. Cirque is different to the other dwarves that he knows. in that he's not just about chopping stuff up and making things, and he sees value in that. And he, I guess he kind of wants to possibly change his path or something. I don't know. But yeah, so
One
so
of
I've
bloodshed
chosen
and
to-
doom.
Yeah, because again, maybe there's a little bit of Cirque kind of like looking back at the golden age of dwarves, and there's a little bit of a authenticity in what Cirque
I'm-
is searching for as well. That played into a little bit of Torg's
Also, a very
character.
young dwarf.
You what?
I'm a very young dwarf.
Yeah, I was going to say you kind of, you know, you're like the younger brother that Torg never had, and that probably would never have been Torg's younger brother anyway. Very different to his kind of sheltered life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Cirque.
I don't know. It's an hard one because, like, I was quite against Torg, particularly up until the point where he actually stopped to bother helping the humans. That I found quite annoying. As in, like, because I'd already told them the answer and they weren't listening to me. And I'm quite like hard-headed and determined, kind of like, so I was just like, "No, leave him." But then it surprised me that he actually bothered to kind of help people who kind of like seem to need it, and he imparted some knowledge to them in a way that I couldn't get across. Whereas I'm quite keen on kind of like the dispersion of knowledge and stuff. So it's probably Torg.
Okay.
I think he's a bit too violent for me, Lothar.
Yeah. Okay.
We are very diametrically opposed, kind of on the.
Yeah, that's why you're at different sides of the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And Lothar, who is your fellowship focus? Who do you feel most akin to or most replenished, knowing that they didn't kill anybody or what have you?
No, I think I would have to go with Torg because of the simple, sort of simple stuff, if you like. I would like to think Loftar is a simple, in many ways, he's a simple dwarf, and you can see and understand where Torg is coming from. I guess the circus a little bit. I mean, I was due to the travels. Loftar is very interested to meet other fellow dwarves, learn more about their culture. But I think the distance is too far away for me because I didn't expect to meet a dwarf like this. So I'll just focus on someone who can, who I can relate to more closely. If that
Any
makes
dwarfs
sense.
like me.
And maybe there's an element of the lordly nature of Torg coming in and playing into it as
Actually,
well.
I probably like being like the youngest of 7. I probably like am looking in the same similar sort of way, sort of like kind of like while I was allowed to go pursue my own things because I wasn't necessarily kind of noticed as a child. It's that two-sided street of yes, I got a load of freedom, but I didn't get much attention, and so it's like someone to prove something to.
Yeah. So what does that then mean in terms of fellowship refresh? So if those guys weren't wounded, the other people get
you get one.
Yeah,
you get one hope back
One
for
hope back.
your fellowship focus not being wounded or
okay. So that
whatever
looks
the other
like
thing is.
yeah.
So
So
basically everyone
Everyone
gets
back.
one. Yeah.
I hadn't lost any, so
yeah.
So I
that's
go
right,
I go back to 9 out of 10, which is decent. Then it's XP, so you get 1 XP for turning up and 1 XP for meeting objective. We didn't actually set an objective.
Yeah, but I don't know how you would have done in the first session. So
the objective was to be railroaded successfully.
yeah, well, basically that's fair. Actually, yeah, your
Survive.
objective.
Survive would be a decent objective for a session 1.
Well, I kind of
we did set objectives in the sense that we not right at the beginning, but we set them when we were all agreeing that we were going to go out and do something.
yeah. So I think
To go out.
there's a lot to be said for going along with the conceit of the game and just kind of going, jumping on the train to kind of get out of there. So I think that's fair, and also kind of like I think it's fair to say that it was consistent in terms of what you wanted to achieve to kind of head out there when you did set the objective. So you get half an XP because we're not actually anywhere. Nobody actually turned up to anything. clearly you get an XP for doing up, and you get an XP for the objectives and for the good gamesmanship.
Okay, and then everything else is kind of end of adventuring phase
which has not
bonuses.
Yet finished. Yeah. Okay.
So cool.
Stuff.
So
Excellent.
sorry, Paul. So we got 1, right?
You get 2 experience points.
Okay.
So a total of 6.
Yeah, so your characters will have
Yep.
got a total of 6 experience points at this point.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Everybody just remember that you just to make sure that you got your advancement points ticked down. It's very easy to forget when you're in the heat of the game.
How did people do with advancement points?
3.
Really, I got 6. I'm pretty happy with that.
I don't like I say I'm very skilled in 3 things, 4 things technically, and then anything else is. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 things that I don't even have 1 point in. I'm just rolling the feat dice for.
I'm
But then
looking
I
at a
also-
couple
my
of mine.
explore, my search, my lore. So my explore and my search are both 4, and my travel and my lore are both 3.
Yeah. Okay.
So
And what I'll be able to do, I think, for next session, having had a bit more time with the characters and such like, is I'll start to play a little bit into those choices for you, Ben, because I'll start to take the story a little bit and try to add in some of the things that'll be more complementary to your character concept, understanding a little bit more about it. Similar with
I've got
Liftar.
2. Just...
Yeah.
But my rolling was legendary today.
Yes, yeah, it was. Buy some different dice, I guess. I don't know.
I think that's-
Okay.
I don't quite different. Why not?
So
I've got
final piece of admin then is, when do we want to play again? So I think monthly works for me, because I've got the D&D game, which is fortnightly, albeit we're going on a planned break there as we finish season 3. Which anybody who's just following it on YouTube will be like, huh? Because we haven't actually finished season 2 on there. But anyway, so I've got a holiday back end of August as well. So do we want to play 5th of September?
Should be
Sounds
fine for me.
doable to me.
That's 5 weeks away. I could do the 29th of August, because I think we're on holiday Friday to Friday.
We really want to.
We'll get back on Friday evening.
All right, well, it's up to you. It's what you
Yeah,
wanna do.
that's fine.
I'm easy. I can do.
That is a bank holiday
Yeah.
weekend, if it makes any difference.
I can do that. Pretty sure I can do that.
yeah. 5th is okay for me.
The 29th of August is what we're on about now, Matt.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, that's equally okay.
That is one of the advantages of being a parent, isn't it? You're kind of like, bank holiday weekend, what?
Advantages of it still.
All the
expect to
days
be
just
locked
blur
down.
into one for me.
Yeah, lockdown does help with that as well.
I
Okay,
love-
cool. So then, that's it. Okay, right. So those that watched on stream, I hope that was enjoyable for you guys. I hope you kind of didn't mind putting up with some of our maybe slow play at times as we were feeling things through. Just first session of a first campaign of a game we haven't played for a long while. Game I haven't run for a while. Game that Jazz hasn't played for a while. But I tell you what, that was actually a lot smoother than some of the sessions we had.
Yeah, the general vibe from the chat's positive.
Okay.
People kind of commenting on how it's interesting to see how other people run their games, having run one themselves for the last 3 years. So Byron Cavendish
Yeah.
on that, and then G Tokyo Time was just enjoying some of the banter that went on from the looks of the commentary.
Oh, good stuff. Good. Well, I think I'm gonna have to find a way and get chat available to me, because I currently don't. I don't know if I'd be able to integrate it because I've got too much to control and anyway. But yeah, really glad if you did enjoy it. If there's anything glaring that you're like, do you know what, guys, come on, this is an obvious rules mistake, then kind of let us know. If there's anything that you thought you would like to see a little bit more of, maybe, or a little bit less of in the game, let us know. maybe we'll do something about it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll think
honestly,
about it.
less of
Yeah,
sort
well,
of-
I think we've got to accept the fact that we're playing the game for our primary for us to enjoy playing the game, as much as anything else. But anyway, so guys, was there anything from your perspectives that you would want to see more of, less of, anything that you kind of thought was really cool, or anything that you thought actually I'm a bit bored now? You can let me know
I thought
now.
I thought it was a good session. I have never read through the Laughter of Dragons adventures. I've had a bit of a look at the Erebor book, so I knew nothing about it, didn't know what to expect. But I thought it was a good blend of the kind of interaction and problem solving with, just whacking bandits and orcs. So yeah, it was good fun. In terms of what I'd like more of, the only thing that I look at and think, oh, that would be nice is, and this is partly on the players. I think it's interesting for me to be the other side of the game, because now I realise how integral to it all your skills and your traits are in terms of your ultimate aim of leveling up. So you like, I just look at it now and think, well, I got 6 dots out of that session, but I could have got, I've got 3 in craft and it's a favoured. I got 2 in battle and that's a favoured, and I could have got another one there. So I think it's just kind of down to players as much as the GM to really be thinking about their skills and how they're going to use them, and they're maybe invoking their traits in order to use their skills.
I did try. You all said no to Hardy. It's on record.
Yeah,
I did.
Well, but that was, I mean, a hardy examination of some
I was
footprints.
determined to find the right path for everybody.
But for me, and I guess for Matt as well, craft is a big part of our characters, and I didn't do any crafting, so that's not a criticism of the game, or it's not anyone's fault, except, maybe me. Like, I should find ways to make my character do some crafting. It's just an observation, really, of playing the game for the first time in a long while.
Yeah, I think it's to some extent it's sorry, Ben.
Sorry, I was going to say it's a balance, because it always was sort of swingy, as in so when we spoke before, some sessions you'd max out and get the full whack, and that's the nature of the characters. That I try not to force it too much, to kind of specifically understanding a bit more. When I created this character, for example, I was like, whereas before I kind of spent, your 10 first 3 points that are really cheap, I'd just blown them all over the place trying to spread out my skills before, and I found Sig was very meh for the first few rounds, whereas you almost have to min max for this system to kind of work. It's just you have your specialties, and sometimes they'll shine in a session and you'll get an opportunity to use them all, and other times you'll just be rolling flat and you might get 2 or 3 points kind of thing. And it's just, but I did find on our longer campaign, where obviously they did even out eventually. There were sessions, I don't think any of us were particularly massively ahead of anybody else before.
Yeah, I think so. You can't do everything that's available to you in one session. But as we start to play through, and as I kind of think about the sheets and understand more of what you as characters and players want to get from the game, then we'll be able to incorporate more of those opportunities kind of more deliberately into it. A large part of my prep this time around was just remembering how the hell the game played, if I'm entirely honest, because I was just I need to know the mechanics of these things as much as anything else. Then it was a case of getting myself up into, well, what does Dale look like then, actually? What's the feel of that place? And then it's, well, what's the story that we're going to try to tell? So I'll have more capacity to think about some of the other aspects of the game as we kind of move on. And stat out Gwymer, maybe.
There's definitely, I find GM in this game, there's a lot to manage in terms of you've got that heavy burden of the source material hanging over you, and timelines and histories of peoples and things like that are always a consideration.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is a lot going on.
Cool.
I enjoyed cinematic.
The
Camera
intro.
the
Yeah,
intro.
scene
Yeah.
I
stuff.
thought that was fun.
Yeah. I plagiarized most of that from either the Erebor book or the Laughter of Dragons book. I just kind of, so that's not my own work. Okay, let's just be clear. Credit where credit's due.
Plagiarism. It's not
Oh, you did
plagiarism,
say
man.
you
'Cause
were acting straight from the book.
that's the scenarios you're running. So
Yeah.
the other thing that I enjoyed was your Terry Jones falsetto voice. It's good to hear that again.
Yeah, I'm not sure my throat would kind of go with that. There are some voices, and I think Ben's found this before, that you can kind of pull off in incredibly short periods of time.
Yeah, no, it's good to hear that.
All
I
three
don't think
women.
I've heard that voice since our last game of Call of Cthulhu.
Oh yeah, the woman with the
at
knives.
Halloween.
Yeah. That was classic. Anyway, right. It's 11:20, and we kind of need to wrap up. So the 29th of August, we will aim for we'll stream it again. This will get up onto YouTube as quickly as we're able to, and we've got really bad history with that. But we're going to prioritise getting it up so that those people who gave us some lovely comments about how they're pleased that we get back into it can kind of see stuff. I'm sure that other content will come because we're playing. We tend to produce any content about the games that we're playing. Not all unusual with that. And we'll stream it, and it'll be 29th. It'll be sometime between 7 and 7:30 UTC, so UK time. And Kenny will interrupt us again, and we'll take a break and all that kind of stuff. But really good stuff. Thank you very much, guys. Let me find where I end the stream. I end it there. Thank you for watching. Thank you.
Cheers for watching.